It's actually happening as Cody Bellinger nears his free agency decision. Multiple signs have pointed to the New York Mets as a serious landing spot for Bellinger as it becomes a two-horse race, as once again we see history repeat itself as the New York Mets and the New York Yankees look like the two teams that are really going for the marquee free agent on the board right now in Bellinger. And there is a lot to go over on this as reports are throwing things in all different directions. But things do not at all look bad for the Mets right now in regards to Bellinger, who fits with the team absolutely perfectly. There is so much to think about with this, especially with the new reports coming out on Bellinger and everything surrounding him. It has been reported that Cody Bellinger is mulling over multiple offers from multiple teams and is expected to make his decision shortly. So obviously right now, where everything stands for the New York Mets and every other team that's interested in Bellinger, we will be hearing an answer soon on what is ultimately going to happen with the former MVP and his plans. Now, Bellinger did have a good season last year. Had a 5.1 WAR, 272 batting average. Hit really, really well with 29 home runs, an 813 OPS, a 125 OPS plus. He had a great year. He also mashes lefties as a left-handed hitter. He's the best at it in baseball. So that also gives another little bit of help for the Mets. A team that does need someone else who can hit lefties really hard, considering there is still a lot of lefties in the lineup. Bellinger would slide nicely into left field for the Mets, as that is a position of need. He also could jump into center field while Carson Bench continues to get ready to go, because Bellinger can play all over the field. It's the beauty of having him. At points, he could probably step in at first base if he were needed there as well. Bellinger can go wherever you need him to go. He's a great player. He's versatile. He's one of the best defenders in the sport, as we see. All the fielding metrics are great. I mean, the man has range. He's got a good glove. He does it all. More than anything, he's someone who's gonna get on base. He's gonna field the ball very, very well. And he can hit a couple home runs as well. He's someone who the Mets should like when you look at the whole run prevention plan. This is a situation where you find a guy who does fit into this mold really, really well. It's a matter if the Mets still want to pay. I mean, Bichette's been signed. Polanco's been signed. There's been big moves now up to this point where the Mets have spent some money. Do they really want to spend more money to outbid the Yankees to land Bellinger? That's the question that we really do have to ask ourselves. But before we dive into all the news today, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. And if you download it using the link below and enter the code DIGESTMLB, you'll get $20 when you trade your first 100. Now, Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States. And on their platform, you can trade yes, no on real life events, whether that's sports, the news, elections, weather, and pretty much everything. And whether you're in New York, California, Texas, or anywhere else across the country, Kalshi is live in all 50 states. Now, for sports fans, you can trade on game outcomes, playoff chances, or player performances, all on a regulated market where you can cash out at any time. Now, guys, right now, the NFL playoffs are about to kick off, and what we are seeing is a very competitive AFC right now, and depending on the team that you decide to trade on, you can get a very nice payout. I believe the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen, who I think is the best player in the AFC, will pull off being the AFC champions, and we will see Josh Allen play in his first Super Bowl. And if you trade $10 on that, you will get $52 back. It's a great deal, guys. And remember, if you use the code DIGESTMLB, that is DIGESTMLB, you get $20 when you trade your first 100. But let's get into the news today, guys. We have a lot to go over. Now, with Bellinger, we did see Dave Dombrowski of the Phillies say that they're content where they are. So the Phillies are not in on Bellinger, and they're not the only team that is not in on him as well. As it was mentioned that the Blue Jays haven't appeared particularly interested in Bellinger this offseason, noting that it seems unlikely the Jays will suddenly become intrigued enough to beat the New York Yankees' offer for Bellinger. Look, I really, really do like the idea of the Mets signing Bellinger. I think it makes a ton of sense for where they are as a team right now. The Mets do want to add more talent to this team, and Bellinger gets them even better. All of a sudden, if they were to sign Bellinger, it would be a phenomenal offseason where the Mets went out there and made multiple big-time moves. It's a really good idea, and something that I do think should definitely be explored when we look at this team right now. On top of that, I do understand why the New York Yankees don't want to lose him as well, because he was their second best offensive player. Austin Wells, the Yankees catcher, did put the sad face emoji on Bellinger's recent Instagram post, which has certainly sparked some rumors on this whole Cody Bellinger situation. And it is very interesting to see the way that this is all starting to go down because, frankly, where everything stands for the Mets and the Yankees, both teams wants Bellinger, but it's going to come down to literally who wants him more. And for the Mets to get him, they will have to outbid the Yankees. If they offer the same amount, Bellinger will likely just go back to New York or go back to the Bronx. And if the Mets offer more, Bellinger will likely go there. More than anything, though, we do know what Bellinger wants. He wants years on the deal. He doesn't want to sign a 5-year contract. He wants a 7-year deal. He wants to get paid until he's 37 years old, a contract that likely will not age well based on the fact that Bellinger is a fielder and a guy who gets on base first. Things that are faster to go than something like power hitting. Usually when it comes down to it, power is the last thing to go in sports, especially in baseball. So when you see that, you start to understand, okay, well, in this case, this is not in Bellinger's repertoire as much, where this contract likely won't age well. Do we really want to give him 7 years and then be handcuffed to Cody Bellinger for 3 to 4 years? That might not be very good. It's a really, really risky play, especially when Bellinger has not been consistently great throughout his career. He's had many lulls, he's dealt with injuries, and there's reasons to kind of be skeptical of giving a longer-term contract. Now, Buster Only does think it's a great idea for the Mets to go for him, saying, I think Cody Bellinger makes a lot of sense for the Mets. And obviously, he does. Again, it makes all the sense in the world for the Mets to go for him. It's a matter of how much are they going to be willing to pay. Will they be willing to outbid the Yankees? Because, again, that's what it's going to take. Nothing more, nothing less. But Bellinger would also be the best acquisition that the Mets have made all offseason. When it comes down to WAR, Bellinger outdoes everyone. I mean, the closest is Bichette with a 3.5 WAR to Bellinger's 5.1. Bellinger both played in the most games out of any of these guys, but did hit the most home runs, had the most RBIs, had the most stolen bases. I mean, he didn't have a better batting average or on base percentage than Bo Bichette, but he did than the other two guys in this list in both Jorge Polanco and Marcus Semien. So Bellinger would go out into left field and be an impactful player out there, while also at the same time, we do see it as the best acquisition that the Mets have made all offseason. All of a sudden, if you add all 4 of these guys into the offseason, the WAR adds up pretty damn well that the Mets had a wonderful, wonderful offseason focused on run prevention by getting Semien and Bellinger in there and having Polanco, who should be able to figure out first base pretty easily, all on the team. The run prevention gets there. They added more contact bats between Cody Bellinger getting on base, Bo Bichette getting on base. Polanco gets a lot. He's got some power in that bat. Polanco had a nice OPS for himself. Same goes for Bellinger. Semien's a great leader. All of a sudden, this would look like a wonderful offseason. But guys, do you think it's worth it to go out there and pay this money for Cody Bellinger? He's going to cost a premium. How do you feel about it? Let me know in these comments down below what you think about this situation. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day. I will catch you all later.